Is the Galaxy A16 5G the perfect budget phone for you? Probably. Just depends on your needs as a user. Some people want the best camera, some people want the biggest battery, some people want a beautiful display. It just all depends on what rocks your boat. You can pick this device up on Amazon if you want to get the unlocked model for about 158 bucks. Don't be like me and pay 174 bucks. I guess it just depends on whether it's the international model or not, but I want to get the fully unlocked one so I can use it on visible because that's my current carrier of choice right now. You're probably wondering what the specs are going to be like. So off rip, you can see on the side here, you got a fingerprint scanner that doubles as a power button. You also got your volume up and down keys, and it's actually a little cool little dimple here. It's like a little design element that Samsung did. You can see it's on the bottom of the fingerprint scanner and above the volume keys. So it's like a little dimple there. I kind of like that. Microphone up there on top, as you can see on the left, you have your SIM tray slot. And on the bottom here, you got your Type-C charging, single firing speaker, and another microphone. So that's one of the negative things about this device. Yeah, you only have a single firing speaker. Now, is that something to get mad about? Not really, but when you have a device like the Moto G of 2025 that has a bottom firing speaker and a top speaker, and it's around the same price, it just makes you think like, Samsung, you could have did it, but nonetheless, single firing speaker. On the back here, you can see you have a triple camera setup. Now the cameras are, I believe, 50 megapixel wide, a 5 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro, with the front camera being a 13 megapixel camera. Now max resolution of recording for front and rear camera is going to be 1080p, 30 frames per second. So it's not going to be the highest of quality, but the cameras actually look, no, not look, but they actually produce some pretty good photos and pretty good videos. You can see that's my dog there. So I literally just took these photos here. Now it does have some AI processing, so it's not gonna be perfect, but I got some video here too. So I literally had the dog there. So the camera quality, I was actually pretty impressed. Now keep in mind, I have lighting in here, so it's going to be pretty much the best conditions for the camera. But nonetheless, that looks pretty good, y'all. I think that looks pretty good for it to be 160 bucks. At the front of the phone here, as we are looking at it now, it is a 6.7-inch display. It is full HD. I believe the resolution is 1080 by 2340, and it's super AMOLED. So it's a super AMOLED display, and you're gonna have a 90 hertz refresh rate. So display quality is actually pretty good. That's probably one of the highlights on the device as well. Probably screen and camera performance is probably the best thing so far, in my opinion. Let me go ahead and show you guys a 4K HDR video, the typical videos to watch. All right, as you can see there, I don't have the brightness on max there, but you guys can get the picture. It's a pretty good looking screen. Pretty good looking. Look at that. That looks good. I think it's a pretty good quality display. So you won't have a complaint in that department. Display is beautiful. Now, when you have a 6.7-inch display, super AMOLED, it's at 90 hertz, you got to have a decent sized battery in this device. Now, this phone is going to come with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and it is going to have the capabilities of charging at 25 watts. So that is decent as far as quick charging. Not the fastest out there, but nonetheless decent. You're going to be able to get a good charge out of the device within like 30 minutes. Probably 5 hours of screen on time. But keep in mind, and this is not me heavily using the phone. I'll use it for a couple hours and I'll put it down for a day or two and then come back to it. So that battery testing or that battery accuracy is not going to be, completely accurate. But depending on how you use the phone, absolutely, you should be able to get a full day out of the device. There shouldn't be an issue there. So when it comes to day-to-day performance, using the phone every single day, absolutely no issues there. Now, when it's not lagging, okay, let me put it like that. No issues when it's not lagging, but nothing like major. So, you don't got to worry about the phone freezing on you, because the phone hasn't frozen on me yet. I remember back in the day when I used to have certain phones and it used to literally just freeze and you have to reset the phone. And if you didn't know how to properly like reset it, or just press and hold the power button or whatever the case may be, then you'd be SOL. But haven't had that issue with this device. And I tried gaming on here as well. I played Genshin Impact, and You got to run it on the low settings here for it to actually perform correctly, but nonetheless, did a pretty good job. Yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good phone in terms of the budget category. The cameras and the screen are pretty much the the selling point for me. And when you consider how much you're spending, you are getting a good amount for the money. The only thing I wish it did have was a little bit more RAM so it wouldn't lag as much. Because with a little bit more RAM, even with a processor that's not the most powerful, with a little more RAM, the phone would actually perform that much better. So when it comes to spending 170 bucks, I think this device is definitely well worth it. But if you can get it for 50 bucks or 60, it's an absolute steal. And what I mean by getting it at those prices is getting it at a prepaid carrier or a regular postpaid carrier, getting those carrier deals and carrier discounts. Because at 50 bucks, 60 bucks, this is an absolute steal. But pushing up to that $200 range, that's when things get a little bit more competitive. And I compare it to other devices, especially ones like this here, the Moto G Play of 2025. So, anywho, in the comment section below, let me know, would you like to see anything in the future with the Galaxy A16 5G? That would be helpful. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.